It really takes a lot for a product to get on my worst of beauty list. And while I didn't do a lot of makeup testing in 2025, there were some products that really stood out to me in 2025 that we're going to be talking about today. These were the worst releases of 2025, and we will be having a best releases of 2025 video. So make sure that you are subscribed, you like this video, and let's get into it. The first one on my list that I definitely had to really honestly give you an unfiltered worst makeup of 2025 would be the reformulated Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. This retails for $34. It comes in a 4-ounce package, and this is the natural finish makeup setting spray that was reformulated. It is no longer the Skindinavia setting spray that we know and love. And in the reformulation, they claimed that it had cooling technology, that it had up to 24-hour wear, that it is waterproof, sweat resistant, transfer resistant, fade proof, smudge proof, crack proof, and it gives you fresh looking makeup all day long with a natural skin-like finish with a soft focus blur that helps makeup look perfect and not cakey all day. This is honestly, all those claims are completely false, especially for somebody. I am 36 years old. I live in a 4 seasons climate. I have worn this setting spray through most of the summer, through also the fall and into the winter. And I actually have found that it is a very drying setting spray. My face looks so like cracky and dry after wearing this. I actually did a all-day wear test comparing the new formula to the old formula, and I will try leaving that in the eye for you guys and in the description box down below so you guys can go watch that video. But basically, at the end of the day, this reformulation actually has a lot of alcohol in it, which actually can dry out your skin. It also has glycerin in it, which is a humectant, which is supposed to bring moisture to your skin. But I always found it did not do that. My makeup just looked so cakey and so dry at the end of the day. The only time that I found that this formulation works is if I was wearing a very moisturizing skin tint that tends to break down on my face because it's too oily. By using this, it actually kind of like dried it out more or less and made it easier for me to wear than what it would be if I were to set it with a different setting spray. So there are some formulations that are like those skin tint sticks that I can't wear on a normal basis. And this made it a little bit more bearable to be able to wear in 2025. But overall, this is just not a good formulation at all. It's very drying and it does not hold up to any of the claims that Urban Decay has actually said that it does. So I have another one. I actually don't have this product anymore because I ended up returning it. It was that bad. It was deemed as the best foundation of 2025. And this was in like, I want to say early February or late January. And it was deemed the best foundation by Tati Westbrook, who is another beauty YouTuber. And I actually did a full day wear test on this. It is a $49 foundation. It is a impeccable blurring second skin matte foundation. It delivers a medium to full coverage that is long lasting with a natural velvet matte finish. And it also has hyaluronic acid that hydrates and smooths the skin. And it gives you a seamless, flawless coverage that wears comfortably for up to 12 hours. Now, when I tried this on, I found it to be really thick. And I didn't put a lot on. It oxidized. So the shade that I had, it ended up oxidizing and it looked a little bit darker on me. It settled into my fine lines so bad that I just was so upset with the fact that like it made me look aged and older. It was a matte formulation and it did have a good coverage, but overall it just did not wear well on my skin. And I could not believe that this foundation just did not work for me. I did have the shade 1CR, which was a fair skin with cool rosy undertones, so it was the right shade match for me. Even when I put it on, it matched my skin tone, but then afterwards, after it oxidized, it didn't work for me. It just looked old and aged and decrepit, and I looked like I was like 50 years old. There is also another foundation that did not work well for me. I also decluttered / returned this one because it did not look good on me. It has been on some people's like best of beauty. To me, 36, combination skin because I get affected by all 4 seasons. This foundation from L'Oreal did not work either. It's the L'Oreal Lumi like Glow Tint. It retails for $16.99. It comes in 1 fluid ounce. The shade that I tried was 120 neutral, and it said that it was a radiant Lumi like Glow tint that was lightweight. It hydrates the skin tint with a healthy glow, breathable coverage, great for all skin types. And provides a healthy glow that meets a breathable coverage of a foundation in a lightweight water-based skin tint by L'Oreal. I returned it. It was not good. Uh, I found that the light glow in it was too light glow for me, and it literally looked like I had glitter all over my face. It just did not look good. I also found that it settled into a lot of my forehead wrinkles, and it didn't look good that way either. And while I did get a shade that matched, it was 120 neutral. It also oxidized on me, and I just did not like the way that it wore down, the way that it over accentuated a lot of my pores, especially in here. I also didn't like the way that it made me look super glittery and fake. It just did not mesh well with my skin. And I did do a full foundation wear test with that one as well, and I will try linking it for you guys. Next is this one. This is forever going to be like a hate relationship with this product, but I can't return it because I got it at the beginning of 2025. It's the not L'Oreal. It's the Maybelline Super Fluff Eyebrow Mousse. Okay. The shade is actually a really good shade match. What shade do I have? I think it's like a dark brown or something. It actually doesn't, where's the shade on here? Well, my bottle doesn't say the shade. 260 deep brown. So I do have a really good shade match. I'm actually wearing it today. Today it decided to cooperate, which is kind of sad because I kind of cooperated. This is a brow mousse. It's supposed to like make your brows look super fluffy. And I was reading how to apply this. They're like, oh, clear off the wand. Well, look how like clumpy this is. And it's always been like this. It's never been like, you know how you open a formula and it gets thicker over time. The first time opening this, it was super, super thick. I found that over time it got thicker, which made it harder to use. It does not fluff my brows at all. I have found that it actually just like clumps in my brows, and I get these like weird little like dots and balls in my eyebrows that it disperses the pigment improperly. And many of times I would like brush this through because the color is good. And the wear down is good, but the way that it applies is horrible. And I would actually have to go in with like a little eyebrow spoolie and like an eyebrow brush. And I would have to like paint my eyebrows in with this product after I'd actually like brushed it through my eyebrows. Too much effort and too much work for a product that's supposed to be like you swipe it in and you're done. Not to mention the fact that I get these little like clumps in my eyebrows still. I even have little clumps in my eyebrows today that are like little balls. And I actually tried to get as many of them out as possible. And I'm going to try and insert like a close-up video with like my phone so that you guys can see what it's doing. Cause it's horrible. I have like little balls and you can see little clumps right in here. And this is after I also took an eyebrow spoolie and I tried dispersing the product a little bit more. So you can definitely see in the video right here, like it definitely it's not a good eyebrow product. Like I said, I love the color. I think the color is great. I think the formulation needs work, and I think that the applicator needs a lot of work, and it is not worth buying. It's horrible. That eyebrow gel I think is a retail price of like $8.99. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a $13.99. Brow mousse, and it does not work very well at all. Speaking of something that's very expensive, because I can buy an Essence brow gel that I absolutely love that's pigmented for like $4, and this one just did not work. Speaking of super expensive for the drugstore, we have here, this is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint with SPF 50. I did a foundation wear test on this. It is an $18 skin tint foundation. It has an SPF of 50 in it. It's mineral based and it is water resistant up to 80 minutes. Okay. Oh, what is the shade? So like this just rolls off, and I actually saw Angelica Nyqvist put this in her Worst of Beauty too. This is not influenced by her by any means, but I have the shade 3 Fair Cool, and Angelica also mentioned like the color. It's like it's not put on here right. Like it's just like flaking off. It's flaking off. It's so cheap. Like, and it retails for $18. It does come in 1 fluid ounce. And e.l.f. did claim that it is like the every e.l.f.ing scent. It's a light buildable coverage with a dewy finish plus zinc oxide mineral SPF 50. So it's supposed to hydrate the skin, deliver light buildable coverage with a natural dewy finish. It also provides an SPF of 50 for UVA and UVB protection with 0 white cast, which I will get into that in a moment. It is lightweight, serum-like, and it feels like skin. They say it's the do-it-all. Skincare plus SPF plus a skin tint. Well, I have to tell you, it is none of those things. I was doing a lot of research on SPF in our makeup products, and you need like 3/4 of a teaspoon. You need like a good substantial amount of actual SPF to be able to make it viable for protecting your skin from the sun. So we're talking like we need a lot of product. I think it's like a tablespoon of product that you need on your on like using this to get the viable SPF 50 protection. I found that this is not buildable at all. It looked cakey. It settled into every single crack and cranny, even after I set it down with powder. Like I had like so many creases under my eyes and even on my eyelids after putting eyeshadow on. It's just a very oily formula and it did not work well. Not to mention that you have to put a lot on to get that SPF 50 coverage, as what they're claiming, because it does it all. And then it also is not buildable in any way at all. It also says that it's water resistant up to 80 minutes. That is a lie as well. I found that it was literally like I wore this to a water park one day because I was like, oh, it's a skin tint. It has SPF in it. I'm going to try it out. I had like it was running into my eyes and I was like watering because it was that bad. It is not water resistant by any means at all. It is not a one and done. And then if you do want it to look nice, which I found that I could never make it look nice, even if you put like a little dot on your face to give yourself a little bit of a natural like glow, it doesn't look good either. Like it doesn't provide the coverage that it claims that it does. Not to mention that they say it has zero white cast. Guys, this is 3 Fair Cool, so I do know that I am super pasty pale, but this had such a white cast in it. It was absolutely insane. I looked pasty pale like a ghost, and it was awful. Now, what I do not recommend this. Like you see that white cast? That's white cast. That's it reflecting off of my lights, and that is it giving you a white cast. That is white cast. And it just does not work for me. That is white cast. And for $18, this was just such a huge disappointment. I was looking for something that I could wear during the summer that had some SPF in it, that I could pair with SPF, that I could, constantly reapply when I'm at the water park with my kids. And this did not do it for me. $18 down the tube. Literally down the drain. It just was not good. Next, we have on my list, we have the Profusion Charlie Brown and Snoopy. This is the Peanuts blush. It is a blush duo from Profusion. It retails for about $7.80 on the Profusion website. I did try this out, and okay, this is a really pretty formula. Do not get me wrong. Like the colors are actually super, super pretty. But the one problem that I found with this is that every single time I would apply this over foundation, which it's not super pigmented, so you do have to build it up, it would strip my foundation away. And it did not work for me. I think that they need to perfect the formula a little bit better because it does have this like bouncy texture to it. And it does have almost this like blurring effect. But at the same time, it was stripping away all of the foundation on my face, and I just had like a blotchy blush moment, and it did not look good at all. And I absolutely could not stand that product. Now I have a product from an independently owned makeup brand, and I'm so sad to be putting this in here, but I really just don't feel like this was something I got a lot of use out of. And this is just personal preference. If you guys don't agree, we can all disagree. We can all agree to disagree, but leave me your comments down below because we're talking about the Blend Bunny. This one is the Beauty Below palette. I did a whole 2 looks 1 palette with this, and the reason why I'm putting this in the worst of beauty, it's not that the formula is bad. It is not that the quality is bad by any means. Actually, the packaging is insanely gorgeous. Like it is very hefty, very heavy. You can actually remove these colors and you can put them into smaller quads if you want to. Honestly, it all has to do with the color story. Now, I know that this is supposed to be based off of the Siren, so it is more of a grungy color story. This does retail for a pretty hefty penny as well. If it's over, I think it's like $50 for this eyeshadow palette. I love grungy color stories. Don't get me wrong, but I just feel like there's something about this color story that I was not reaching for it ever. Like I tried this at the beginning of 2025 and I have not reached for it since then. And when I was going through my list of like the best and worst of beauty in 2025, I was like, this one actually is on my worst of beauty because when I think about best of beauty, when I think about like my most used products, when I think about the best makeup releases of 2025, these are products that I have consistently used throughout the year that I couldn't put down. And this is something that I used a couple of times. And since then, I have not used it. It does have great eyeshadows in it. It's just a color story that does not mesh well with me. It's too dark. And I just feel like it didn't mesh well with like my makeup aesthetic in general. Now, if you're into grungy tones, like you have a lot of purples in here, which I love purple. Don't get me wrong. Like I love purple. It has a lot of blues in here. It has some greens in here. It has some pinks in here. Like these are all colors that I use, but there's not enough variety of a light to dark mixture for me to create some pretty dynamic looks. Like they're all just super, super dark. And that's also why I don't reach for it a lot. Like I find there's a lot of medium tones and dark tones, but there are no like light tones in here. And coming from somebody who is super pasty pale, those type of tones don't translate very well on me and they tend to look very, very patchy no matter the type of formula. So this is, I mean, it is a beautiful color story. I think that the theme is gorgeous. I love mermaids, I love sirens, but it's just not usable and I feel like it's missing some colors. All right, so there you have it. Those are my worst of beauty for 2025. It's not a very long list, but those were ones that stuck out to me as being some of the worst releases of 2025. They were not that good. And I definitely say this wholeheartedly, do not buy them because they are not that good. If you guys like content like this and you want to see my best of beauty, which is going to be next, as well as my most used products of 2025, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. Leave me a comment down below. What was some of the worst beauty products that you had tried in 2025? And I hope I get to see you in my next video. Bye.